what was Calvin Furman's role, if any, at that meeting?
I don't recall him ever speaking.
Okay. Did anybody say, let's be clear. It was clear to you at this time that Dr. Kuether was raising an allegation of race discrimination or something else?
Well, I don't recall if she shared with me that she was concerned that the actions taken were because of her race. I don't recall.
Okay. But you were clear that she made a complaint about Dr. Holliday, correct?
Yes, I learned that through my investigation.
Okay. And that in fact she and other MPS employees had made complaints about Dr. Holliday as far back as 2019, correct?
I was at the time aware of other open matters. I don't remember to how far back they went.
Okay. Are you aware of a series of letters about Dr. Holliday written by MPS employees and shared with the board?
I am aware of letters that were given to me that I believe the board received, and this would have been November of, I believe it was 2019, that the board received at the evening where the appointment from interim to just sort of permanent chief academic officer was done, and I do recall a series of letters being in the hands of board members in that executive session discussing it.
Okay, and that's because you saw that or for some other reason?
I saw them holding it, and I believe it was President Miller who then handed them to, he said, "Here, Matt, you take these." He gave them to me, and I retained them.
For what purpose did he give them to you?
I don't know.
Okay. So you did the board take any action on those documents at that time?
Take the foundation.
They didn't take any action on those documents.
Okay. Did they discuss those documents at that time?
Yes, they shared that, hey, we received these concerns about Dr. Holliday, and then discussed with Dr. Posley what their concerns were about Dr. Holliday. That's what I recall.
So based on those discussions between the board and Dr. Posley, do you believe that the board or members of the board had read the complaints against Dr. Holliday?
Objection calls for speculation.
Join.
I don't know that all of them did, but I'm certain that some did.
Okay, and is that because there was comments that were based on those letters or something else?
Comments based on the letters.
Okay. And you've subsequently read the letters?
I have.
Okay. And what do you understand the substance of those letters to be?
I believe they reflect the toxic, hostile work environment.
Okay.
And Holliday.
And again, this is brought by Dr. Kuether and others, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And do you believe that in 2019 that the board was aware of the identity of the employees who were complaining against Dr. Holliday?
Object to form causes speculation.
I don't believe there's any. On the documents that were shared with me, I don't believe there's any identifying information.
Okay.
I don't recall seeing any.
So that's based on your understanding of the documents. Was there any statements during that board meeting at that time that would lead you to believe that they were or were not aware of the identity of the individuals?
No, I don't believe any statements were made that would have led me to believe there was an identity known.
Okay. So, to your knowledge and based on your discussions with Dr. Kuether, do you understand that did you understand that she gave these letters to anybody else at MPS?
I don't know that. I even knew that Dr. Kuether had given the letters to anyone.
Okay.
I don't know if that I knew the source of them. I just don't know.
But you're aware that on October 6th she met with Calvin Furman, correct?
It was an October date, yes.
Okay. And you're also aware that during that meeting, Dr. Kuether gave Mr. Furman a large stack of documents?
Objective foundation, causes speculation.
Councilwoman Objection.
I'm aware of at least some of the documents shared because I came by them during the course of my investigation.
Okay. And it's because Dr. Kuether gave them to you or for some other reason?
I believe Dr. Kuether shared with me, and then I believe through the conduct of my investigation, another individual shared some with me.
Who was that?
I believe it was Michelle Wade.
Okay. So at what point would that have been that you were aware of the of these letters?
I'm going to object to the extent that it mischaracterizes prior testimony and also assumes facts not in evidence, and so therefore it's argumentative.
So I'll re-ask another question. You were aware of the letters when Michelle Wade gave them to you, correct?
Same objection.
We're talking about letters that were shared in the October meeting with Mr. Furman.
Right.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, you just testified that she gave you a copy of these letters.
My apologies.
I'm also object to vague.
She shared with me other documents that were, she told me, shared with Mr. Furman in that meeting.
Okay.
I don't recall those letters.
Okay. Did you have any basis to recognize those letters, the ones that Michelle Wade gave you, as opposed to the ones that Dr. Kuether gave you?
I'm going to object to the form.
Yeah, I don't know if Michelle Wade ever gave me those letters. I maintained my receipt of them when I took them from President Miller, that November 2019 date.
Okay.
And I apologize if those same letters were then shared with me by another individual after that. I don't recall.
Okay. Do you believe those documents were attached to Miriam Horowitz's report?
I don't know.
Can you mark this one?
Yeah, we can close this one.
Let's
This
do
one
it.
instead?
Let's do it. Let's do
Okay.
it, Miriam Horowitz. We're gonna do it.
Oh, this is exhibit 5, but there you go.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Great. Have you seen this document before?
Yes, I'm going through the first 7 pages.
I'll give you all the time you need. I just want to first, if you've seen this document before. I'll give you more time, no problem.
I'm familiar with all the pieces of this. I don't know if I've ever received, I just don't recall if I've seen this entire cache together as a single document, but I recognize every portion of Exhibit 5.
Perfect. And to be clear, you've seen this letter from Miriam Horowitz to Rupneet Sidhu of the ERD.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. Now, this document was created by an outside attorney on behalf of the Board of School Directors, is that right?
Object to foundation.
Can you restate the question? Or, I'm sorry.
Now, this document was created by an outside attorney on behalf of the Board of School Directors, is that right?
I believe that's correct.
Okay.
And I would like to state an objection to the document on the record. It shows on page 7, enclosures A through H. And on my copy at least, the first exhibit is F. And there does not appear to be an H. So I'm not certain that this is a complete document or if these are the proper exhibits that go with this document.
Okay. Well, I thank you for that previous answer identifying all the sections of the document, correct?
I recognize all of them.
Okay. So, based on your experience at MPS, do you believe that this document was created in the ordinary course of business?
Check the foundation.
Since this was created by an external investigator, I don't know if it was created in the regular course of business of the district. I'm sorry.
No problem. Thank you. So, do you know what this document is?
I believe this is a position statement regarding a complaint in response to a complaint by Dr. Holliday.
Okay. And Dr. Holliday made a complaint against Dr. Posley. Isn't that right?
I believe that's correct.
Okay. And that's because Dr. Holliday was not moved from the interim CAO to a permanent position, correct?
I'm going to check the foundation.
I believe that was part of his allegation.
Okay. And I'm going to direct your time, your attention to 3 paragraphs down on the second page.
Second page.
Throughout the time, Dr. Holliday.
Okay.
It says, throughout the time Dr. Holliday served as interim CAO, his subordinates brought verbal and written concerns and complaints concerning Dr. Holliday's work performance and lack of leadership. Did I read that right?
Yes.
Okay. And that's accurate based on your understanding as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And there are, without bullet points, there is a list of complaints that follow. Do you see those?
I do.
Okay. Do you believe that those are similar to the complaints that you reviewed during your investigation of Dr. Holliday?
I'm just going to check the foundation.
The only one that I hadn't heard was rarely present at central office.
Okay. But so with that exception, otherwise,
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay. So then I'm going to bring you to this page 3 after that point, the bold bullet points there. It says on July 11th of 2019, Deborah Bowling, manager of fine arts, filed a formal internal complaint of bullying, harassment, discrimination against Dr. Holliday. Is that accurate to your understanding?
Yeah, I couldn't speak to the date, but I know that a formal internal complaint was filed by Ms. Bowling against Dr. Holliday.
Fair enough. It goes on to say the complaint alleged that Dr. Holliday had hired Jaron Leviston because he was African American and the son of Dr. Holliday's friend rather than a more qualified white male candidate. Did I read that right?
Yes.
Okay. Is that accurate based on your understanding?
Yes, it is.
Foundation.
Okay. Did Dr. Kuether make similar allegations against Dr. Holliday based on your experience?
Objection, vague.
Fine.
I don't recall if she shared this specific one about Mr. Levison. I don't remember. I just don't remember.
Sure. And without the one on Mr. Levinson, did Dr. Kuether raise concerns regarding hiring or Dr. Holliday hiring African Americans in preference of Caucasian candidates?
I believe Dr. Kuether shared with me a concern about the hiring of Dr. Saffold.
Okay. And that her concerns about the hiring of Dr. Saffold mirror Dr. Deborah Bowling's concerns about the hiring of Jaron Levinston. Is that right?
Objective form. Vague.
I'll join the objection.
I don't know if it was substantively over a white male candidate, but certainly Dr. Saffold's selection over better candidates.
Great. It goes on to say the complaint also alleged instances of Dr. Holliday's rude and harassing conduct towards Miss Bowling. Did I read that right?
Yes.
Okay, and those are accurate allegations according to your understanding?
Yes.
Foundation.
Did Dr. Kuether make similar allegations against Dr. Holliday?
Yes.
Did Dr. Kuether make similar allegations against Dr. Saffold?
Yes.
Okay. The page 4 here. It says Attorney Pedersen also reported on an investigation of an internal MPS complaint filed by Tamara Coleman on September 24th of 2019. Do you see that?
Yes.
So that's a second report, am I right?
I believe so.
Okay, the first one's Deborah Bowling, the second one against Dr. Holliday's Tamara Coleman, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. And this is Mr. Peterson's January 22nd, 2020 report to Ms. Scopter concluded that the individual allegations, but not substantiated in view of Dr. Holliday's denials and explanations, but quoted from the Bowling conclusions, is also applicable to Miss Coleman's complaint. Is that true?
Object to foundation again.
Can you say the question again?
And this is Mr. Peterson's January 22nd, 2020 report to Ms. Sculptor concluding that the individual allegations, but not substantiated in view of Dr. Holliday's denials and explanations, but quoted from the Bowling, so I don't know that, conclusions, is also applicable to Ms. Holman's complaint. Is that true? Sorry, it's been not very well.
I don't recall what's in the Pedersen report regarding Miss Coleman. I just don't recall.
Okay. But there's two Pedersen reports now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then it goes on to say, on October 5 of 2020, Rochelle Sandrin, science curriculum specialist, filed an internal written complaint of bullying, harassment, discrimination against Dr. Holliday. Is that true?
Object to foundation.
I don't know. I don't dispute it, but I don't know.
Okay. Then on October 6th of 2020, Ms. Sandrin, along with other members of the Department of Curriculum Instruction, met with Deputy Superintendent Calvin Furman to discuss what they believe to be a pattern of behavior that is not acceptable for a chief academic officer in MPS. Did I read that right?
Yes.
Was that a true statement?
That's my understanding.
Okay. The other members of the Department of Curriculum and Instruction, were at least one of them Debbie Kuether, to your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. It also says that Superintendent Posley was not given copy of the formal written complaints against Dr. Holliday and did not know their contents until receipt of Mr. Pedersen's report in January of 2020. Do you see that?
I do.
Okay. Was Dr. Holliday at the meeting in which these complaints were, in which President Miller handed you these complaints?
He was not in the closed session in which that conversation and those documents were discussed.
Why not?
Object to form foundation, cause for speculation.
I'll join the objection.
In retirement to closed session, typically only the executive officers of the district and the board members are present. And by that I mean the board members, myself, Dr. Mann, and Dr. Posley.
So my question is, Dr. Posley present at that meeting?
I'm gonna.
Did I say
object.
Holliday?
Yes, you said
Yes.
it's Dr. Holliday.
Well, excuse me then. We'll start over. I
Sorry.
appreciate that. Not at all. There's a lot of doctors here, if you'll. It's like freighter all of a sudden. Okay. So, We're gonna pause for a second, and I'll collect my thought again. If you would repeat that question, I would very much appreciate it.
Okay. Hope it comes out better.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, why not? Was Dr. Holliday at the meeting in which in which President Miller handed you these complaints?
Right. So I'm sorry. So was this meeting about? Was Dr. Posley present when Dr. Miller handed you the complaints?
Yes.
Okay. So it is fair to say that he was not given copies, or do you have knowledge of whether or not Superintendent Posley was given copies of these complaints at that meeting?
Oh, I don't recall.
Okay. But the subject of those complaints was discussed at that meeting, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So